Welcome to the first Fireside Chats with Marc. Outside of T-Mobile's Frisco headquarters here at Warren and the Tollway. I got a little setup here today. So, how about that? Ooh, so I tried doing this yesterday and I made a little goof up. I forgot my SD card at home. I got a new camera setup. So you got to learn some lessons when you get a new setup sometimes. But let's hop in. Today's goal, first, let me tell you what I'm going to do after this. So after I record this Fireside Chats and do a little sign work here on the corner, typical Mustang. After I do some sign work on this corner, I'm going to go down to Stonebriar Mall, which is right down the street. It's a really busy mall in Frisco, Texas. T-Mobile also has a store in there. But I'm going to walk around with my sign and hand my flyer out and engage with people. But let's talk about today's Fireside Chats. So I want to cover a few things. We're going to go through my severance expiring. My severance expired 1 year ago yesterday. 2, 1 year ago yesterday, I also got my X account back after a 55-day suspension. Third thing, I'm going to show you the flyer that I have here today. And then the fourth is I'm going to finish the story I couldn't finish on the last 24-minute rant where I was just going hard about how my TikTok was taken from me. So first, let me hop into how my severance, my severance expiring 1 year ago. And I'm going to pull up the story here on my website. So if you aren't familiar with me, I didn't even introduce myself, I don't think. My name is Marc Palaciano, and I'm a former 17-year employee turned whistleblower. I have a website full of truth, www.marcpalaciano.com. It's just my name. And I have been telling my story on there for over a year. And I actually posted a story 1 year ago about my free speech being restored. Oh, sorry, hold on. I was about to go into the other story. Let me talk about the severance. See, so much has happened. So 1 year ago this week, a lot of shit happened in my life. On top of my friends and family were already stopped talking to me. My severance agreement had finally expired on December 19th. So to catch you up on the timeline, I requested to be laid off from T-Mobile. I was notified of my layoff August 31st. I was on payroll and employed through November 2nd, which happened to be my 17-year anniversary. So my last day employed at T-Mobile was my 17-year anniversary, and 5,000 other employees, or a big percentage of them, had that same last day of employment. Pretty weird how that was my 17-year anniversary. It's like the universe was showing me signs. But anyway, I was on payroll through November 2nd, so I didn't have to do any work. I actually had to turn in my computer right when I was told about my layoff. So, since it was T-Mobile's massive layoff that was communicated, they wanted to make sure that they followed protocols in all the states for notification, so they have to give a 60-day warning. So what T-Mobile did was just give everybody, from September, October, paid for. You didn't have to work. So I started trolling T-Mobile a week after the layoff. So August 31st was when I was notified of my layoff. The next week, I was trolling T-Mobile CEO Mike Sievert on X because I learned that my severance agreement also had a non-disclosure agreement included with it. So once I learned that I couldn't take the money, I just started exposing T-Mobile and trolling them on X. And so from September, October, and then November 2nd was my last day. The severance, even though November 2nd was my last day, the severance still had another, 30 to 45 days before it expired, because it expired on December 19th of 2023. It was and I'm going to read a little bit here off my website. It was $146,627. It was $100,007 cash compensation, which would have been paid bi-weekly for 6 months. So that means I would have been getting a paycheck every 2 weeks for 6 months. That would have been nice. I wish I had that. And then a $25,716 lump sum cash payment, which is prorated, which was my corporate bonus. So part of the way I make money at T-Mobile, it was a salary, but also an annual bonus. And so what they did is they were proactively giving me the bonus that they owed me. and then also 134 shares of T-Mobile stock. And at the time, that was $20,000. The stock has increased 70% since then, so that 20,000 is really more like 35,000. And look, I did good for myself. I was saving money, and I have a good retirement, and I have investments, and that's how I'm living right now. But I'm not some rich guy that can afford to turn down $150,000. I needed that money, but I needed my free speech more than I needed that money, because my goal was to use my story to launch my journalism off. My story is a former 17-year T-Mobile employee that is exposing how my rights were violated for being unvaccinated. I'm exposing their environmental social governance policies, their diversity, equity, and inclusion, how the C-level executives have dumped and the parent company have dumped $5.3 billion worth of stock this year, and I'm the only one talking about it. Or how about how T-Mobile hired Kamala Harris's old communications director. His name's Clint Odom, and he's like their token black guy. He's the VP of Strategic Affairs or Relationships or whatever, but he's like the token black guy that goes to all the woke events and accepts awards for not being racist. For T-Mobile not being racist. But yeah, he also worked at the FCC, the Federal Communications, the FCC, where they manage the spectrum for T-Mobile. So this is also an example of how a government agency has a revolving door with the Fortune 100 companies that they're supposed to be regulating. Anyway, I'm going to go down some rabbit holes when I talk about my story, because I have so much stuff to talk about T-Mobile. But let me show you some of the bullet points of why I didn't want to sign it. Well, I already said that. I guess free speech, holding T-Mobile accountable. Wow, I just rattled off really what this whole story says. And see, it's just now it's all this. This is my life. This is like, I don't even have to read stuff anymore. I've been doing this all year long to where I can just speak to it now. But yeah, it's a great story. All right. So yeah, 1 year ago yesterday, my $150,000 severance expired. Oh yeah, and I haven't even drawn unemployment from the state of Texas. Like, my goal was to launch my X account off so it would be making money for me and I would have income. And I didn't even file for unemployment. I'll probably do it at the beginning of this year, just in spite of T-Mobile, because they have to pay for it. So, and really, I pay my taxes. Texas should be doing this. Somebody's blowing me up. Okay. Now, let's talk about how my X account was restored, how I got my X account back. So, my X account was suspended on October 25th, 2023, just 5 days after I launched my independent journalism on X, which is the complete opposite of what should have happened, right? X is supposed to be the free speech citizen journalism app. So when I post my introduction to journalism video, being suspended 5 days later, that's the complete opposite of what should have happened. At the time, I was still trusting everyone. I made a video begging Elon to give me my X account back. I was emailing people like Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, Dave Smith. I made a video for Theo Vaughn. I'd sent it to his fan, submission thing. I filed a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. I filed a complaint with the Texas State Attorney General, Ken Paxton. And I even almost went and stood out of the Cybertruck event, which I should have. But what finally got my account back was emailing Tesla and X leadership and asking them how to safely burn my Teslas in my cul-de-sac for a New Year's party. It's obvious troll satire here, people. I'm not blowing up my cars in the cul-de-sac, but so I sent them this email, and all of this stuff is on my website. You can go see everything I'm talking about, and it all has dates with it, so it just proves that I'm telling the truth, or just telling you what happened a year ago. And all I do is tell the truth. All I do is speak truth. I send them an email, and I put a link in there to a YouTube video, to my Dear Elon YouTube video. But what I did is I made the video private. So I knew when I sent that email, because it was to, I think I need to go look, it was like 30, 40 people. Oh, here it is. 38 people. I knew that if they would click this private video link, YouTube would tell me that someone watched it. So it was my trick to create a read receipt. And so, yeah, I mean, when I sent the email, within like a couple days, I had 10 views. And then within 2 weeks later, I had 20 or 30 views on the video. And so I replied to the email and I said, I know you guys watched this video. I put a private link in here, and you guys, some of you have watched this video. And boom, just like that, I got my X account back. Now, keep in mind, I had actually been emailing X and reaching out to their support for 55 days straight. 55 days straight, I was submitting requests in X or replying to the email that they sent me, and they would never reply to me about why my account was suspended. They wouldn't give me any information. All they said it was for spam and manipulation, which all of their, community guidelines and codes are gray, so they can use them however they want. But anyway, so when I got my X account back, and yeah, back then I thought it was a win. I was super happy. I blew up on X in January and February. I got 13 to 15 million impressions. I had 15 million total. It was 13 million between January and February. I gained 7,500 new followers in those 2 months. And then my account just falls off a cliff. And I've even exposed the data. You can see the bar graphs where I blow up, and then I get choked down to a 99% decrease in engagement. That's obvious censorship. But I guess what I've come to understand is most people don't understand analytics in life. Like, I guess I had a job at T-Mobile where I did operations. I had to analyze business. I also ran stores. I mean, from my operational and analytical skills that I developed at T-Mobile are what helped me do what I do today. And I guess, I guess I take it for granted that, most people don't understand when they look at these bar graphs and you have two big bars and all of a sudden a 99% decrease in performance, something happened. It wasn't me. Woo! But yeah, X censorship is out of control. But that's how I got my X account back, and I blew it up. Oh, sorry. I was happy about getting my X account back, but now I realized that they baited me into exposing myself. The whole goal of X and free speech and citizen journalism was to bait free thinkers like me. Because what I just did is I exposed myself, and then an artificial intelligence learned everything about me. For those that don't know, another story that's on my website, I have so much stuff. Elon has been partnering with Data Miner, which is a data aggregation company that uses AI. He's been giving them the data the whole time he's owned X. And they've been using that data to create profiles on people. Data Miner is a company the government uses to identify threats before they happen. So they use AI and algorithms to create profiles of people and so on and so forth. And so, I saw ChatGPT and all these AIs learn me more and more and more because I kept posting stories on my website, posting on my social media. And so everywhere I was like doing my journalism and talking about my story, that was a moment for the AI to learn about me, and then they can use that against me to censor me. So if you look here on the back, this is actually this flyer right here. This is actually just X's artificial intelligence, known as Grok, whatever. If you ask them who I am, this is the summary they give you, and it's scary good. It can kind of explain you to me better than I can explain to me. And so I've seen all these AIs learn me better. Now, anybody that's been, I guess, a conspiracy theorist over the past few years, or as I would just say, has common sense and knows something's up, they have this summary of me now. They reverse engineer this summary to censor me. They know who to hide me from. They know all the people I'm associated with. They know everybody that follows me on my social media. They know all my friends and family. They know everybody who they're supposed to show me to. Which means they also know who not to show me to. It ain't that hard. If you look, today I posted a post. I stood in front of Collin County on December 4th. Oh no, I had my court case. It was the day after. Anyway, my email newsletter has been struggling to grow ever since I stood in front of Collin County. You can see I have straight lines, and there's moments I'm not always going to have a straight line of growth. I understand that. And then there's some moments where you go flat. Most of the time it was because I didn't post a story or whatever. I've been doing this. I'm posting videos, I'm grinding hard, and I'm losing subscribers on my email newsletter because they've hidden me from new people to be able to find me. I don't even know what people see when they type in my website or what they see here, but hopefully they find me. All right, whew. Here I've been going hard. All right, I'm gonna talk about, I think I did enough on those two stories. Let me show you my flyer here. I'm gonna kind of get up closer to the camera and see maybe if I can do a little presentation here. All right, a little small, but as you can see, I got a summary, and then I have my website, and then look, I put QR barcodes so you can scan to my website or scan to my socials. I put screenshots of 3 stories, quick summary on the back, and then B. I guess I'm just gonna read it to you. Hopefully you guys are okay with me reading to you. I guess you wouldn't be watching the video if you didn't really care, so. The top says, I was making $200K at 39 and I walked away from the 17-year career I built so I could expose the company I was slaving for. Hi, my name is Marc Palaciano. I'm a born and raised Dallas Texan speaking up about my rights being violated by T-Mobile and exposing how they are destroying America from within. I asked to be laid off in August 2023, and then I turned down my $150K severance because it included an NDA that would silence me about T-Mobile for the rest of my life. I started speaking up in September 2023, and T-Mobile has had me censored on every social media platform I've used to tell my story. I documented all of it along the way. My evidence is on my website. As of this week, the judiciary system was weaponized against me and my free speech. Man, my life's crazy, dude. All right, so this bottom left section, I've been charged with harassment for texting a T-Mobile executive. I learned you can be charged for harassment for texting a business line without ever being told to stop texting. I'm being bullied from people with power and money. All right, here's the bottom right. I've talked a lot about my censorship, and there's endless stories to read on my website if you're interested in seeing a documented story of an American whistleblower being silenced by T-Mobile and big tech. Whew. And then here's the back. I'm not going to read the back to you. It's a lot. It's a detailed summary. I'm going to put it up here on the camera. And then you can go, I'll put it in this email so you can go read it. And you should just download it and share it with your friends. But check this out. And look at all this stuff. And this, this is AI explaining me. It explains me so good. It's scary. Okay. Let me tell you, actually, let me get a drink of water. And then we're going to cover my story. We're going to finally finish the story of how T-Mobile took my TikTok, because I tried doing it 2 or 3 times in the last video. I'm just freestyling, guys. Like, I'm proud of myself because I'm confident enough to just turn the mic on and turn the camera on and grab the mic and just record it and post it. I'm not editing. The only thing I'm doing is like adding banners at the bottom to like put my website and stuff on it, but I'm not going to edit this stuff. Okay. So, how did T-Mobile take my TikTok? So as I mentioned, I have a harassment case from T-Mobile president John Fryer. We've gone to court, just distracted for a minute. So I have a harassment charge from T-Mobile president John Fryer. We went to court, or I had my first court date. Before that court date, I received an email from my lawyer telling me that I now had a bond hearing because of one of my tweets. Like, what? How do I have a bond hearing over my free speech? My constitutional rights don't end where his feelings begin. Maybe he needs to stop looking at my X account if it triggers him. Anyway, so I go to my first court date, which is really just a check-in, right? It's not, I mean, my lawyer's doing the talking. I just sit outside. I just want to make sure I'm there. And so I go home and I post 12 videos within 12 hours on TikTok. So that afternoon and the next morning, I post some good videos because my whole goal was to use TikTok to grow because that would bring more people to me and see my story. And T-Mobile didn't know I was on TikTok. I had been on there for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I was being quiet about it. Like, I wasn't really posting a lot of it on my other social media. I would kind of use some of the videos, but never with the TikTok logo. and I was paying to promote my post. So I spent $350 promoting my post on TikTok, and I grew 650 followers in a matter of 3 weeks. And I was talking about more stuff than just T-Mobile. I talked about Hawk Tua's rug pull. I talked about, I did talk a lot. I guess some people honking. I did talk a lot about T-Mobile stuff, but just videos of all sorts of different things, and not anything that has to do. Well, I shouldn't say not anything, but none of it's harassment. This is just free speech and me telling my story. And none of it was even about him. It's about how they're screwing me over. And so I go home and I make all these, my bad, I went into a little soapbox there. So I go home, I make these 12 videos like Hawk Tua rug pull. That was like a car show in front of me. Hawk Tua rug pull. Something about like the moon landing, T-Mobile stock sales, and made some other videos. But then all of a sudden my TikTok just gets banned. I open it up, boom, banned, gone. Because, so when I made those 12 videos on TikTok, I saved them to my phone and then I posted them on all my social media. So they're on my Instagram, they're on my X. And so T-Mobile was monitoring my Instagram and X, and they saw that I was on TikTok, and they got my account shut down. Now, I can't prove that they got my account shut down because that's how censorship works, right? But anybody that's paying attention to me and my story knows damn well T-Mobile took my TikTok. And it's for everybody to see. I have a story on my website. Go look. I mean, this is the one thing. Everything I talk about is all documented. That's why I've been documenting everything on my social media. I have a breadcrumb trail on X, Instagram, and my website. So you can't tell me I'm lying or making anything up. It's all right here, documented the entire time. Go look at, well, I have two stories. Well, TikTok was fun while it lasted. And then the next story, I'm deleted from the internet. I'm censored. I can't use TikTok. I exposed T-Mobile so good. But yeah, anyway, it's so wild. My life's crazy. And what's even crazier is like, my friends and family like think I'm the problem. You know, and I know I was probably abrasive because I was pissed off and I was just reacting into the moment. But at the same time, I was reacting to how they treated me. They turned on me first. I started exposing T-Mobile and speaking up. And how did that become a problem in our relationship? As a friend or a family member, what is me talking about T-Mobile and speaking up about how my constitutional rights were violated have anything to do with our relationship? It doesn't. Which means you judged me for what I was doing. And since you judged me for what I was doing, yeah, fuck off. I'm done with you. I'm done. I don't need you. My life is so much better without fake ass people in it. You know, if you want it, I don't even need you to be interested in what I'm doing. I don't care. You don't have to care about what I'm doing. You just didn't have to treat me differently. And the fact that you treated me differently means you were the problem, not me. Now, did I talk a little shit and get pissed off? Probably. I don't know if I take back any of the stuff I said because really I was just reacting in the moment, and the people that I talk shit to deserved it. You're not my enemy either. I'm just moved on. I don't give a shit about you no more. I've moved on. You're done. You know, I'm out here. Look at this is what I'm doing. You know, I don't like to say stuff like this, man, but my 2024 has been heroic. I'm an American hero. I don't need anyone to tell me I am. I don't need to be on Fox News. I don't need Elon Musk. I don't need Joe Rogan. I don't need any of these people to tell me I'm a hero. I know I'm a fucking hero, man. Look at what I did. Look at all the money I've turned down to speak up. Look at what I'm doing right now. I'm on the corner of Warren and the Tollway exposing this fucking company. I'm a fucking hero, dude. I don't care what anybody says. I'm writing my story. I'm living my life. And if you want to judge me for what I'm doing, then go fuck yourself. If you want to let me be me, then man, I got all the love for you in the world. And we're cool. You don't even have to care about what I'm doing. Just don't judge me for what I'm doing, man. What's crazy too is most of my family, the ones that are judging me, are the same ones that go to church every weekend and pretend that they don't judge people. It's wild, man. Anyway, I think that's a good first session for my first Fireside chats. This is a pretty long video. I'm gonna do some sign work and go to Stonebriar Mall, and I'll catch you on the next session. And maybe I'll record some sign work too here in a minute. Oh, hold on, actually, let me show you what I got today before. I'll show you my sign presentation. I am exposing T-Mobile. This one has a QR barcode to my my link tree that has all my socials. That's really what I should probably make my website, is link tree where it has all my links so you can see all my stuff. This one, I mean, that one's pretty plain as day, right? T-Mobile hates America. Woo! This is one of my favorites. I love Transmobile. I wanted to get this to trend. I know they already blocked it from trending. This is just funny. This is trolling. This is me having fun, and they should be Transmobile. They provide unlimited money for transgender surgeries while they limit things like in vitro and other medical stuff. It's pretty wild. But trans people assume that I'm like anti-trans with this sign, and that's not the case. I don't really care, dude. If you want to go trans as an adult, go ahead. You can do whatever you want after 18. I think you should probably wait till at least you're 25 or 30 or something. But whatever, dude. Live your life, because you ain't gonna tell me how to live mine. Classic T-Mobile sensor to whistleblower. T-Mobile whistleblower, got the World Economic Forum vaccine passport, got the Germany America logo there. Boom. Unlimited trans surgeries. This sign hits whenever I have Transmobile up too. And these are the signs you've been seeing the last couple days. We got former employee turns whistleblower. T-Mobile in Collin County weaponized the judiciary system. What a wild statement, dude. T-Mobile took my TikTok. This one's fun. But I know a lot of people look at me like, oh, this dude's just mad about his TikTok. No, there's more to the story. But this is just funny because everybody cares about TikTok. And the government's coming after it right now. T-Mobile and Big Tech censored me with my website. So these are all my signs, and I'm going to do some work. And hey, if you're still watching this, I want you to know I really appreciate you. Like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have people like you following me, subscribing to me. I really appreciate it. And I couldn't have gotten this far without your support. So I got all the love for you. Until next time, stay tuned.